Should I be respectful or should I say I told you so? I gotta go with I told you so. Charles Oliveira absolutely dominated Beneil Dariush just like we said he would. I mean, he absolutely dominated Beneil Dariush. Amanda Nunes retires as the GOAT. Ayman Zahabi was impressive last night. But all in all, you had a lot of decisions in a weak card at UFC 289. We got all these topics and the Vettori Cannonier main card or main event prediction for next Saturday night. Stay tuned.
Broadcasting live from an undisclosed location. This is the Community MMA with your host, Chris Cross.
Boom, big right leg kick. Let's go, Olives. Let's go. Oh, big right. Let's go. Yes, let's go, Olives. Finish him, baby. Everybody's talking that smack like Oliveira's done. Come on, Olives. Big right. Let's go. Step in there, ref. Couple hammer fists. Step in there, ref. Step in there, ref. Step in there. Let's go. Let's go. Yes.
Man, oh man, oh man. It's a great day to be a UFC fan. It's a great day to be right. Last night we ran the table in the main card for the second straight week. And I don't want to get ahead of ourselves. I mean, in the UFC, anything can happen from week to week, but the bottom line is we ran the table, getting all 5 fights in the main card 2 weeks in a row. Hey, that's impressive. And we'll take it because it doesn't always happen that way. But the trend continues. In the prelims, we get down a little bit. Really, we're just trying to stay 500, like 3-3, 4-4, something like that. Because we know if we get to the main card, we're more than likely going to get 3 of the 5 or 4 of the 6 main card predictions right. And that's the way it went last night. Now, first and foremost, Amanda Nunes absolutely dominated the fight last night. I mean, it wasn't even close. It was kind of set to be that way as she was taking on Irene Aldana, who was 14-6, so 6 losses in MMA as a professional. Has really no business being in there with Amanda Nunes. But we saw that Amanda Nunes is starting to slow down, right? Against Juliana Pena. You know, she lost, she came back and won the title, and now she has a retirement fight against Aldana. She cut the gloves off and retired, and she's going to be missed. I mean, she is going to be missed. And Dana White saying last night that they're probably going to scrap the women's featherweight division. I mean, we haven't seen a title fight there in, 2 years maybe? As she went back and forth with Pena, you had the Ultimate Fighter. A year ago, she hasn't fought in the featherweight division since then. So that division has just been on hold. And how many fighters are the UFC going to cut now or try to convince to move down to the women's bantamweight? And that's going to be tough for some of those fighters. So we'll have to wait till next week, and we might see in the next week or month a lot of women fighters being cut. They're probably going to meet with them and say, hey, can you get down to bantamweight? If not, we really don't have a place for you, because that division hasn't been moving at all in a long time. And who knows who's on that list, but we'll find out. But the biggest fight last night, without question, could have been the main event, even though it wasn't a title fight, was Charles Oliveira and Beneil Dariush. I mean, this was a fight that people were looking forward to. Big lightweight division fight, number 1 versus number 4, right? If Beneil can win this fight, he's going to get a title shot, and we got some new energy in the division. Or Charles Oliveira is going to come in and win like he does against everyone else, and he's still the best lightweight fighter, not named Islam Makhachev, and if he wins, he probably gets the rematch. Even though he got dropped in the second round, you know, he's still trying to get back up there and get a rematch of which he deserves. So here's how that fight played out last night. Well, it looks like we got some technical difficulty, so I'll get that pulled up. No big deal. And I know what happened. We changed the name, so we'll get it pulled up. But, you know, you have 2 guys that are both very good. That, I mean, it can go either way, right? Charles Oliveira can take it to the ground. That's what he prefers. or he can stand up and strike. And he kind of played both ends last night. And now we got it. Here's how it went down last night.
Come on, Oliveira. Get off your back, man. Dariush in firm control right now on top. And he slams Oliveira. And Oliveira, pulled Dariush down 2 minutes ago and remained on his back ever since. Oh, and a nice up kick. And Oliveira tries to get up. He gets up. Now the crowd's going crazy. A nice knee to the body. Come on, Oliveira. This is your chance. Now Oliveira's got Dariush pinned against the fence. Dariush with the hands wrapped around, but Oliveira gets loose. Here we go, finally. It's been a good 3 minutes since we've been in the stand-up. Boom, big right leg kick. Let's go, Olives. Let's go. Oh, big right. Let's go. Yes. Let's go, Olives. Finish him, baby. Everybody's talking that smack like Oliveira's done. Come on, Olives. Big right. Let's go. Step in there, ref. Couple hammer fists. Step in there, ref. Step in there, ref. Step in there. Let's go. Let's go. Yes. Charles Oliveira, first round finish, baby. Over everybody, bro. He's finishing everybody, man. And Islam Makhachev, here we come again. I'll tell you what, he's exciting to watch, man. He is exciting to watch. The former champ is coming. And that, everybody's saying that Dariush is going to dominate Oliveira. I told you Oliveira would dominate him. He's still the best lightweight division fighter outside of Islam Makhachev. Boy, and the crowd is kind of shocked because everybody expected Dariush to win this, and Charles Oliveira just rocked him. And at one point, Dariush is covering up, and people underestimate the power of Charles Oliveira as he sits atop the octagon, and now the crowd's going crazy. Giving Dubronx his respect. That's what I'm talking about. He's coming. So Charles Oliveira is going to get the win here. He's back. The Brazilian, he's going to move to 34-9 with the first round KO over Beneil Dariush, who falls to 22-5. And his mystique is gone here in the lightweight division at UFC 289.
And as usual, everybody had a lot to say in the prediction. Chris Cross, you're crazy. You don't watch UFC. You don't know what you're talking about. The bottom line is, in these tough fights, you can't just assume that Beneil Dariush is going to come in and dominate Oliveira when Oliveira has dominated the entire division except Islam, who's a different animal. I mean, that guy's a different animal because Oliveira, if you saw last night, likes to go to the ground. He pulled guard on Dariush, went to his back, and he's comfortable down there. But then he quickly realized it's going to be tough on the ground against Dariush. So then he got back to his feet and said, forget it, let's strike. And that's what he's got to do against Islam. He's got to defend the takedown. Forget going to the ground against Islam. He's going to beat you on the ground. You saw what Volkanovski did. He went 5 rounds with him. He said, when I get taken down, I will get back up. He did. And then as you get into the 3rd and 4th rounds, now Islam is not as much, doesn't have the ability to land the takedowns because he starts getting tired. So you got to drag Islam into deep waters. You just got to get through the first 3 rounds. And then you can finish them in the 4th and 5th. Because when Oliveira hits you, it's different than any other lightweight. And both of those guys last night look like middleweights almost, but at least welterweights. You see other lightweight fights, and it's fast, and guys are rolling around on the ground, and there's a lot of technique. Oliveira and Dariush get in there, they look like welterweights who squeeze down into lightweight. And Oliveira weighed in at 154. I mean, it's crazy. But nonetheless, Charles Oliveira got the big win. And yeah, I told you so. So you had some other big fights, a lot of decisions last night, but Mike Mallet did the darn thing last night. Check this out.
And a nice up kick there by Mike Malott early in round 2. Adam Fuga continues coming forward, though. Ooh, it misses with a big left leg kick. Now both fighters trading kicks. So about 5 kicks to start. A big right to left by Mike Mallet. Let's go. Finish him. Oh, he's got it. He locks it in on the ground. Guillotine. Oh, when he's got the leg wrapped around, he's in trouble. Fu gets in trouble and he taps. Let's go, baby. Let's go. 3 in a row in the main card. That's what I'm talking about. And the crowd is going crazy for Mike Malott. Yeah, and 3 in a row would turn into 5 in a row with the wins of Oliveira and Amanda Nunes. So, Dan Ige got the job done as well. Beating Nate Landwehr. Marc-Andre Barriault beat Eric Anders. And that was a great fight to kick it off. But you had 2 decisions in the main card, and you're like, oh gosh, here we go. Because, 8 of the first 9 fights, 7 of the first 8, I should say, were decisions. Well, 6 of the first 8, because you had a no contest between Imavov and Chris Curtis, and Imavov was on his way to victory. Jasmine Jazuda Vicious beat Miranda Maverick. We missed that one. But one we did not miss was Aman Zahabi. He made his presence felt last night for sure. Kalang doing a good job so far with the jab, keeping his distance, but Zahabi, obviously with the power at any time, could cash in. So 50 seconds into this fight now. And Zahabi not throwing a lot. Looks like he's just timing it up for that one big pop. But Ori Kalang, oh, a big left! Zahabi put his hands up. He's got to keep fighting, and he does, and it's over. Dang! Big left hand by Aman Zahabi. And I don't know that a lot of people saw this coming. Aori Kalang, a pretty good fighter. You see the crowd on their feet. They're pumped. And man, Zahabi's going to get the big win here in front of the Canadian crowd, and they're pumped up. And look at Aori Kalang. He thinks the fight's just starting. Wow. And Aori Kalang, put his hands up like he thought the fight was starting. That's crazy. But they sit him down. They're going to work on him. He's going to be fine. But, man, you see this. He kind of whiffs on the big right, and then boom, with the left. Yeah. And see, when he throws the right, the hands of Kalang drop, and then he gets dropped. And this fight is over. So, Aman Zahabi lifts the crowd up here with a big win. He gets a standing ovation. And so Aman Zahabi got the win. And all in all, a good night for us. 7-3-1. And we'll take it. And here's how it looked last night. You start the night with Diana Belbita getting the win. Then we lose to Dvorak. Then we get Kyle Nelson. I can't believe we took Aori Kalang. So we're 2-2. Then Miranda Maverick loses. We're 2-3. Chris Curtis, no contest. So we're 2-3-1. Then we go on the run as per usual. Marc-Andre Barriault gets the win. Dan Ige wins. Mike Malott wins. Oliveira wins. Nunes wins. We run the table in the main card. So 7-3-1 on the night. 15-4 in the main event. 145-80-4 on the year. So we'll take that and we'll put that record up against anybody. Searching through YouTube, we got the lead right now. Looking at everybody. That includes Fight Night picks. That includes everybody. Although I got to look again because they were pretty close to me, both of them, on Fight Night picks. So they're probably real close. They might have 142, 143 wins on the year. We got 145. But we did have one bad card, and then we came back with 2 or 3 in a row that were pretty impressive now. 7-3-1 in 11 fights. We'll absolutely take that every time. So all in all, a good night last night for us. And now we just continue marching forward. We got another big week coming up. But also, as per usual, we have to update the do list. We got to update the do list. Got to. Right? Because now Oliveira is back. So what happens? What happens? Let's get this thing back. All right, so Charles Oliveira jumps 5 spots back up to number 8. And you see Islam at 3. So normally we're going to say Islam's going to win
that fight because he's higher on the due list, but we got some time. We might have to make some moves because I'm not so sure Islam wins a rematch. He should, but I'm not so sure. Hamza still number 1, Jones 2, Islam 3, Yuri 4, Sterling still 5. He's got a big fight coming up against, number 12, Sean O'Malley. Colby still in there, Adesanya, Oliveira, and you see we got Colby ahead of Edwards. So that means we're going with Colby in that matchup whenever that thing's announced, for sure. The one that hurt me is that we had to drop Jamal Hill to 11 because I think he's in the top 10. I just don't know where to fit him. O'Malley 12, Bo Nickel 13, and arriving on the due list, Alex Caceres at number 20. This guy's won 7 of 8 fights after starting 14-12. Now he's like 21-13, I believe. So that guy's on the rise. I don't know if he'll ever be a champion or even contend, but his run is impressive, and I like the guy, so he's got to be on there. Make no mistake about it. So, big middleweight main event this week between Vettori and Cannonier. We're getting into that prediction in a moment, but you still got more Hamza news as Dana White says he's not going to fight Usman. Doesn't look good because Usman won't go to 185. Andrew Smith says Colby is getting the shot because none of the top contenders took advantage of his year-long hiatus and fought each other. Colby has earned it, and his performances in the octagon. He puts on a show inside and outside the octagon every time he fights. He also stepped in on short notice as a backup for Usman Leon 3. Well, who won it? And although that itself is not enough, it still counts for something. You got to look at the whole career and not base everything from a 1-year time span in which he got hurt from someone who he just recently beat inside the octagon. Yeah, but he beat Jorge Masvidal. Fine, that's a big win. And Tyron Woodley. I mean, that's it, I think. That's it. He's just lingering at the top. And I'm not even so sure he should still be the number 2 contender behind Usman. I'm not so sure. But the bottom line is nobody knows who Hamza is fighting. Dana White said it's not going to happen between Usman and Hamza. He says no, completely not true. We have a plan for Hamza. And when we're ready to announce it, we will, he said last night in the post-fight press conference, I believe. Or he might have said this earlier. He says, I don't know what Usman's going to do right now. Usman's still making some decisions. He wants to fight Hamza, but doesn't want to fight at 185, and I'm not doing a catch weight. So that's how that thing stands. And we'll continue to wait to see who Hamza fights. But after 2 minutes in the octagon and nearly 15 months, people are scratching their heads right now, unless they're going to wait on Colby Leon to fight and give him the winner of that fight. That's the only thing I can think of. But as promised, got a big prediction between Marvin Vettori and Jared Cannonier for this Saturday night, the next main event. In the middleweight division at UFC Vegas 75, you got 2 top contenders in Marvin Vettori and Jared Cannonier set to lock horns. Vettori 19-6, Cannonier 16-6. You can see why this is a good one. Vettori is slight favorite, but it's almost 50-50. Vettori is 1 inch taller at 6 feet. He's considerably younger, 29 versus a 39-year-old Cannonier. I didn't realize Cannonier was that old. Cannonier's got a 4-inch reach advantage, 78-74. He's a switch stance fighter. Vettori is a southpaw or left-hander. Both guys at least 4 significant strikes, so 4 exactly per minute for Cannonier, 4.4 for Vettori, so it's really close there. But Vettori likes to take the fight to the ground if he can. He lands nearly 2 takedowns over the course of 3 rounds. Should this go 5, he's looking at 3 or 4. And what that means is the takedown defense for Cannonier is important. It's 64%, which is right about average. Now, Vettori is a 75% takedown defense, but that shouldn't matter in this fight, and it would be good enough in any fight. Now, Vettori's coming off a big win over Roman Dolidze, a guy that many people thought would beat him. Before that, he lost to Robert Whittaker by decision in a fight that he got dominated, 74-33 in significant strikes. He also beat Paulo Costa by decision. This guy is a decision machine, beating the likes of Kevin Holland and Jack Hermanson. His last win was a submission victory over Carl Robertson. Now, Jared Cannonier in a similar boat. He lost to Adesanya by decision for the title, but performed well. 116-90 in significant strikes, not bad. He beat Sean Strickland by split decision, beat Derek Brunson by KO, beat Kelvin Gastelum by unanimous decision. He also lost to Robert Whittaker 69-53 in significant strikes. So it's going to be a close fight. I'd really like to go with Jared Cannonier, but I just don't think he's going to get the job done. I think the 6-foot Vettori has an advantage in height. He's given up some length, but he's going to get into the body, find ways to get takedowns, limit Cannonier's striking ability, and you should see Vettori with about 5 to 7 minutes of control time on 3 or 4 takedowns. Cannonier won't maintain the 4 significant strikes per minute, which will be about 100 significant strikes in his fight. He'll probably be closer to 60 or 70. Vettori will be close to 100. So he's going to win in control time. He's going to win round by round. He's going to win in significant strikes. I like Vettori to pull this thing out and move to 20-6. I think the guy's ceiling is still higher than what it is now. But he wins here in the middleweight division, your main event at UFC Vegas 75. Yeah, so we'll take Vettori and put the 15-4 record on the line, right, in terms of the main event. So Vettori wins, in my opinion. He's the better fighter. Cannonier does have a longer reach, but he's not going to be able to defend the takedowns against Vettori. If this thing stays standing, Vettori still wins. But if Vettori can land takedowns, he'll pull away. And I'd love to see Vettori get the finish. But I think he wins regardless in dominating fashion. Now, as we jump into the Q&A, Kay says, Dana knows Hamza will maul Izzy in the first 2 rounds, and that's why they're avoiding him. Yeah. They don't want to put Izzy up against Hamza until they have to. Right? This is why it's Robert Whittaker versus Strikers, and they're not letting Hamza fight in the middleweight because they know he'll get ranked real quick and start calling out Izzy. Right? They have a reason to avoid him when he's not ranked. That's just the way it is right now. It's terrible, but that's the way it is. Mark DeJong says, after all is done and Hamza retires as the GOAT, first ever 3-belt champ, we'll know that we were the first ones to believe in him from day one. Dave Miami says, Hamza. Someone please fight Hamza. They are afraid. And you can see most of the comments in our comment section, the Q&A, always are about Hamza, for better or for worse. Christopher says, appreciate your breakdowns. You do a fantastic job. I shared your channel in my Discord and let them know they got to come check you out. Thanks again, brother. And Christopher, much love, man. I appreciate that. We tried to get on the Discord, but me and social media just don't mix. I just don't have the time outside of YouTube. I even tried Twitter for a while, but I just, I like to do the video thing, man. Satra says, I was just happy and excited as you were. Hopefully he fights Islam next. Speaking of Charles Oliveira. So, yeah, Charles Oliveira getting the job done last night, man. Very happy. Very excited. Didn't know which way it would go. I thought Beneil would put up a better fight, but he didn't. Kenneth Bruner says, Hamza value keeps rising. Just ordered my Smesh hat from his new online store. Hamza is ready to go. He is still with all stars despite the gossip. Craig says, Hamza legit has potential to be triple champ or at least double champ, something that Colby can only dream of. SS Tech, change up your channel content, man. Try something new. I've been following for a while. You got a potential, but you need to change up the delivery and the content of UFC. And I guess I'm just setting my ways, man. But, I try to listen to what you guys are telling me, so maybe we'll switch some things up. We'll see. It takes a little work, and the tough part is just trying to find time. When you change up your style and content, it's going to take some time. So eventually we'll get to that. But right now we're content with the way things are going. So Hamza on hold. Colby versus Leon next. Charles Oliveira versus Islam looks to be next. Or shall we say Islam versus Charles Oliveira this time, because he is the champ. So let's give the champ his respect and his due. But I can't wait to see that fight. Even if Oliveira goes down again, that fight is highly, highly intriguing. But nonetheless, we got to wrap things up. It's been a great show. Charles Oliveira did not let down last night. And we are excited about that. And what's funny is everyone disappears when we're right, man. But you know what? I'd rather be right and everyone disappear. Speaking of disappearing, this your boy Chris Cross. Hope you have a great day. And God bless. Peace.